Hey guys, welcome back to Good Drive. Today we're very excited because we're right in front of LUCID Studio and we're gonna go check out the new LUCID Air that's set to be released later this year. Disclaimer alert, I am invested in Churchill Capital.
So am I.
So you are? Okay. So, but this is, Churchill Capital is rumored to merge with LUCID Motors, but it hasn't been confirmed yet. But, this is purely just to talk about cars, not finance. So, very excited to go in and check it out. The first LUCID studio we're going to is in Beverly Hills. When we enter, we're presented with a beautiful LUCID Air Grand Touring in black. This studio only has a prototype and we are not able to see the interior of the car. We're gonna see this later in the Westfield Century City LUCID Studio. So the LUCID Air Grand Touring is the second highest tier for LUCID Air. It has a 517 mile projected range and 800 horsepower. It can go 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds and a top speed of 168 miles per hour. You can see that there are a lot of thought that has gone into the small details. For example, the placement of the side cameras are incorporated into the side mirrors. They don't protrude out and makes the design more seamless. The design language is heavily influenced by aviation. For instance, how the trunk opens allows a wider access point. This was inspired by the C-5 Galaxy military cargo plane. The car has the largest frunk of any car in the industry, and the frunk is roughly half the size of the trunk, which makes this car very practical. So one really interesting feature of this car is that there are these vents right here on the hood, and it actually comes from under the lights, and it serves two functions, one for performance and one is used to cool the LED lights in the front. Starting out as a battery and production company, LUCID's main advantage is the battery technology. Currently, it's around 1 to 2 years ahead of anybody else. And when the LUCID Air Dream hits the market, it will be the longest range production car. Now, these are the same batteries that are used in Formula E. So this is battery technology that have been proven and tested in the most strenuous manner. So we're sitting in a mock-up of the LUCID Air right now, and it's quite beautiful. My first impression is like this bar right here, LED screen. It reminds me of the Porsche Taycan. The steering wheel feels really nice. I think these knobs are like what Lucid is known for.
Yeah.
Their design thing.
Yeah, it's very aeronautical. I think it carries through the whole theme of the car, especially in the switchgear. It kind of reminds me of like turbines.
And this screen actually folds inside.
Yeah, I think that's like probably one of the showpiece features of the interior. I definitely agree with you about the screen. I think it's like the Taycan screen on steroids because instead of like, just having it be for the instrument cluster, it wraps around the whole dash. Like everything I touch is like nothing I touch is plastic. Everything is either metal or leather. Even like this part is.
I like how the buttons are really big.
Yes,
right?
It's very clear. Like, even though obviously we're not even in the car, and we can look at the buttons and we know what they do. So I think that's really, really key. All right, so now we're gonna hop across town to Century City and check out the full interior car that they have at the Westfield.
All right, let's go. The LUCID Studio at Century City has a maroon LUCID Air Grand Touring on display. This car has an interior that works. There are two main screens, one on the top and one on the bottom. The top one features a massive 37-inch screen that's divided into 3 sections. The left side has some basic buttons like controlling the high beam. The middle screen shows the essential driver information like the speed, and the right screen has the basic infotainment system. And the screen on the bottom is mostly for climate control. The steering wheel has these iconic knobs that are aviation inspired. The door handle pops out when you press on it, and surprisingly the door opens all the way by itself, which is a pretty cool feature. The seats are very luxurious. The back is very roomy and looks very comfortable to sit in. There's a small screen in the back for climate control. Overall, the interior of the LUCID Air is very high quality and very well designed. All right, so we just finished viewing both LUCID Studios, and we're gonna give our final conclusions.
I'm very excited about the brand. It seems that, you know, they've been around for a while now, ever since they're Ativa, so they've kind of been in stealth mode, just like Rivian has been. And you know, they've been working on their technology and you know, the product and the manufacturing, and I think the result is really, really good for a company that basically started from nowhere. I think the reason they've come out so strong is most of their company comes from Tesla. Like most of the leadership is either from like an existing OEM. They have experience from like VW or Audi, or they're coming from Tesla. Like, you know, the CEO is the chief engineer of the Model S.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you really see how this car is a refinement of the original concept of the Model S, and then there's been a lot of like changes, definitely for the better. You know, and I think it's going to be a really strong competitor in the marketplace. You know, it's definitely a direct rival to the Model S. I would say that's the.
Even though the CEO denies it, but I think it's. Yeah,
I mean, come on, like it's around the same size.
Yeah. The
price points are roughly the same. There are more. I think it goes up higher than Tesla does.
It does, yeah.
But I think at the same time, it's also offering more.
Well, let's compare the Model S and the LUCID Air. Like, the advantages of the LUCID, I think, are the amenities inside. It's very luxurious. Design, I feel like it's a plus. I feel like it looks better than the Model S. I think there are cons as well. Like, I asked the staff about autonomous driving, and they really couldn't give me a direct answer. So that's a really big concern for me, because that's the future, especially for electric cars. If they don't have a direct answer now, maybe they will in the future for fully self-driving cars, but right now they don't. So that's a big disadvantage for the LUCID.
Well, I think what they said was they're gonna launch the capability basically around the same level as what Tesla has now.
Right.
So like kind of like a level 2.5 scenario. And what they do have as an advantage in terms of the self-driving is they have all the equipment necessary. You know, they have all the cameras, they have radar, they even have LiDAR. LUCID is probably going to be the first ones out with it. And for them, it comes down to regulatory approval. They're not going to let people be beta testers. They're not going to let their customers be beta testers. They're going to launch it when it's ready. But at least all the hardware is there, and it all comes down to the software. And I do think they're going to be able to pull it off, because their leadership for the autonomous driving is the former head of GM Super Cruise.
Oh, that's a very good program.
So I like just looking, you know, from my research of the company and their leadership, they have really experienced people that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they have the funding. So I think they're going to be able to have a really good product with good, you know, after sales and service support. I think that's another part of the experience that maybe Tesla is still working on now.
Yeah, it's very rare to see a car beautiful in like almost every angle. Usually there's like one awkward angle or a couple for any car, but for the LUCID Air, I couldn't find any. Like, any way you look at it, it was really nice looking. So they did a fantastic job on the design. And I think the biggest advantage, like you said, is the CEO was a top engineer for Tesla. So their battery technology is the best. You know, they make batteries for Formula E, and that's like stress testing the batteries to its max. That's not something that Tesla's battery has undergone. Maybe it can perform, but LUCID has proven technology in this field. And once it comes out, it's gonna be the longest range production electric car in the industry. Until solid state comes up, right?
Yeah. So they definitely have an advantage on the efficiency, and like their whole design philosophy is revolved around maximizing the efficiency of every component. So that's why you're seeing, you know, even though they're using the same things as everybody else, because they're able to put it together, in a more of, to maximize the potential of, the cells. They're able to do this. And I think that kind of also brings me to one point where I see a lot of people are going to like still consider Tesla maybe, and that's the supercharger network. Lucid is going to use Electrify America's network, since they're using DC combo, and they will have 3 years included.
Oh, that's nice.
Which is nice. Yeah. That's a really good sales point. But as you know, like the Electrify America experience is still not perfect yet. So I'm really curious to see how the Lucid cars are gonna, mesh with the network. From talking to the people at the store, it seems that the Lucid cars have maybe less problems than the VW group cars, where it takes forever to communicate with the charger.
Yeah.
But that brings me to the efficiency, brings me to a point of, I don't think it'll be as much of a pain point for customers with the Lucid, because they have so much range. You're not going to need to charge that much, even on a road trip. Yeah. Like if you've seen any of the videos on YouTube, I think Motor Trend rode along with Lucid. They're able to go from San Francisco to LA nonstop without charging.
That's impressive.
So like even the base car does 406 miles or something like that. So I don't think it'll be as much of an issue. And since the other key advantage of the Lucid is they're using a 900 volt architecture. So it's even higher voltage than the Taycan. So what that means is because they have higher voltage, they're able to pull more power out of the chargers than anything. So they're able to fast charge at 300 kilowatts. And Taycan maxes out at 270. So it's even higher. And the representatives told me that the 300 kilowatt charge rate is available even on the base car, the base Pure, which has a smaller battery. So I think they're gonna have a winner on their hands.
Now, according to the production plans, they are releasing the Dream Edition, which is their top tier model, spring of this year, and that has 1,080 horsepower and 500 plus range. And then they're gonna release the next version down, which is the Grand Tour, I believe, and then the touring version. And hopefully by the end of this year, it's their cheapest version, which is the Pure, is gonna come out. And yeah, hopefully it all goes to plan, and we're very excited about this company. They make a really good product. Their customer service is great. They have a great presentation. They have a great story, great brand. Just overall, it's a really good package, and really happy to see them enter the industry. So yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it.
Let us know what you think about the Lucid in the comments below. And if you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe to our channel. We're going to bring you more videos like this, and like the test drive coming up soon, hopefully. And again, it's Jeff.
It's Jerry.
This is Good Drive. We'll see you in the next video.